Before we get started in today's video, I'm going to show you a simple demonstration. If I showed you this little ball of putty looking substance, you probably wouldn't believe me if I told you that this was fireproof, or very close to being fireproof. Highly fire resistant, we'll say. I'm going to take a little piece of this, maybe a little bit more. We're going to roll it up into a ball. Okay. Then I'm going to take this PVC pipe and kind of roll it into a pancake. So there we go. That's a very thin little pancake. I'm going to set this on the center of this table, and you can see that if you take a blowtorch and you torch the top of this table, you can see that just a couple seconds of flame is enough to turn the top of the table brown and blister. Because whatever this table is made out of, whatever the top is very sensitive to heat, and it'll just blister and turn brown. So, with this little pancake here, I'm going to blowtorch the top of this pancake and see what happens. Now, you can see from whatever that was, 10, 15 seconds of a blowtorch being 1 inch away, you can see there's no brown spots, no blisters. And you can even take it and just hold it on your hand, and you can just feel a tiny amount of heat on the bottom of it. But you can see that it's smoking on top. Now, I'm sure you guys want to know exactly what this stuff is and how you make it. So now that you've seen what it can do, I'm sure you're probably dying to know how to make it and what it is. Now, what it is a product called Starlight. And basically all it is a highly flame-resistant putty that you can make out of household items. The specific recipe that I used was using cornstarch, baking soda, and glue. The ratios that I used was, if you use 200 grams of cornstarch and then you use 20 grams of baking soda, that equals out exactly to needing 1 4-ounce bottle of glue. 200 grams of cornstarch and 20 grams of baking soda, and then you know that for every one of those amounts, you need exactly 1 bottle of glue. And then you just put it in a bowl, and it's a lot like making biscuits. You just mix it and knead it and roll it with a rolling pin and just work it back and forth, and after like probably 30 to 45 minutes, you finally have a putty. And you have about that much putty once you're done, and it actually kind of looks a little bit like dough, but obviously it's nothing like dough. There's 3 things that I want to know. 1, I want to know how good of an insulator it is, because obviously you saw on the table after 10 or 15 seconds it insulated the flame enough that it didn't burn or blister the top of the table. But I want to hang it up on something and have the blowtorch on one side and have a thermometer on the other, and see after 30 seconds, a minute, see what kind of temperature, because we know the blowtorch is 1200 degrees roughly, so how much of that heat is going to transfer to the backside of it. And then second, I want to know how long is it going to take for the blowtorch to actually burn all the way through to the other side. And then the third thing is just going to be kind of a fun experiment, and I have this styrofoam alien looking head. And what I'm going to do is just make like a big pancake of the stuff and put it over the face of this styrofoam alien head. And then we will see if it's strong enough to withstand the blowtorch to keep from disfiguring our beautiful alien head. So let's start testing this stuff. Alright, here's how we're going to do our first test. I have two legs from one of the sacrificed white tables. And I just have 2 cinder blocks stacked on top of each other. I'm just going to put these here. And then I'm going to put 2 bricks on top of these. This way they stay stable. And then I'm going to roll out like a pancake of the Starlight and then put it over top of these. And then I'm just going to take the torch and burn down onto the Starlight while I have my thermometer underneath of it to see the temperature, and we'll see how much heat transfers from the torch to the backside of the Starlight. I'm just going to flatten this down like a pancake. Man, this stuff is actually pretty thick. We have our thin little pancake here. That's gonna be a problem. Maybe what I'm gonna have to do is just torch it a little bit and kind of crisp it up, if you know what I'm saying. Okay. It's kind of like a pizza. You just gotta cook it a little bit. All right. Now let's start torching this. I'm gonna go for probably 10 seconds, and we'll see what the temperature is. I don't know if you can see that. (106 degrees). So that's not too bad for 10 seconds. 106 degrees. Whenever we know this is 1,000 to 1,200, that's actually pretty impressive. And it's still pretty relatively cold. It's just slightly warm on the bottom side. So let's go say 30 seconds. Well, that was 154 degrees. So 30 seconds, 154 degrees. I'm impressed with that. That's not bad. You can see, wow. You can see what happened is it just kind of formed a bubble on the bottom side. And as it got hot, the part that was being hot, or was being heated, just raised up from the bottom part. So that's actually pretty interesting. So now let's do the second part of the test and see how long it takes for the blowtorch to actually burn all the way through. Alright guys, you can see the setup for the burn test is going to be kind of the same. I have my 2 cinder blocks and 2 bricks, but I still have both of these legs from the sacrificed white table. And what I'm going to do is I've already rolled out another little pancake. I just saved you the pain and agony of watching me struggle with a piece of PVC pipe to roll it out. And I'm just gonna drape this over top here, and then I'll just hold the torch right here and burn it. And then I have a GoPro right here on the back side so that you can see whenever it burns through. And then I'm just gonna have this camera and I'm gonna zoom in on it real close so that you can see what's going on. So let's get started. All right, here we go. And just so you know, I do have a timer. So we're going to start the burn test in 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm gonna call it right there at like 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And just because it was starting, I was starting to see some red embers poke through the other side, but still not a complete hole all the way through, but it definitely was embers burning all the way through to the other side. So basically 3.5 minutes for a tiny little pancake. That is extremely impressive. And even after 3.5 minutes of it being burnt with a blowtorch, directly after, I can still touch it. And it's not very hot. It's only, oh, well, it was 150 degrees right here on the back part. So I'm impressed with that. So now you can see right in the middle of your screen, you can see that little tiny crack of daylight is what was starting to burn through to the other side, and that was when I called the test. And keep in mind that little tiny crack is after 3.5 minutes of a blowtorch. So that proves yet again that this stuff is very strong and very impressive. Alright, so now that we're done with our scientific tests, now it's time to have some fun. So now it's time, we're gonna take our styrofoam head, we're gonna make a big pancake of the Starlight, put it around the head, and see how the Starlight can protect something as sensitive as styrofoam against the blowtorch. You know, many moons ago, I used to work in a pizza place, and I used to have to make a lot of pizzas, and this is really bringing back some nightmares about rolling out dough. Although that was a pretty fun job, but not nearly as fun as blowtorching things in my garage for YouTube. That's way more fun. Just take our face. Oh. Oh. It actually looks like a like out of a vacuum form machine. Alright, let's get you guys zoomed in. Alright, now that you guys have a nice view, let's see how well this Starlight protects our mannequin. That seems pretty good. Oh wow. Well, I'm not going to peel it all the way off, just because I don't want to ruin it. But so far, there is no damage. All right, let's keep going. All right, so I held it for the longest time on the nose. So let's peel this off and see what we got. Ooh, it's actually kind of hot. This is very creepy. Oh, I think we have some damage. Oh yeah, we got some damage. Yep, that nose is a little bit melted. Although not bad. Really not bad for taking a blowtorch to the face. I know if I was going to take a blowtorch to the face, I would definitely want some of that on my face. So now, just because I know everybody wants to see it, I'm going to melt the rest of the head. Oh no, it's setting the table on fire. Well, that has to go. Alright, so now that we're done testing Starlight and we've seen how impressive it is, now I'm going to do one more small experiment just because I know that somebody's going to ask for it, because Starlight looks and feels like Play-Doh, so we might as well see if Play-Doh has a similar effect as Starlight. And I'm just going to do the table test, I'll call it, like I did with the Starlight. So just like I showed before, just a couple seconds is all you need to burn this table. So let's see if the Play-Doh can resist the flame for, say, let's go 10 seconds to start. Interesting. It doesn't quite act like Starlight per se, but it protected the table. But it's still really weird and doughy. Although I did see, and I'm not sure if you could see it on the head cam or not, but I did notice a really cool effect while I was heating that up, and I'm gonna try to reproduce that and get you guys a closer look. Alright, now what I was talking about is if you pay close attention, whenever I start heating this up, you'll start seeing all these little bubbles start popping up everywhere and start spreading out. And it was really cool. I don't know how well you could see that on camera, but it's really cool. All right, guys, so in conclusion, Starlight is easy to make, and it's extremely effective and extremely impressive. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know I had a lot of fun making it. In case you don't already know, I have a link to these shirts if you want to buy one. I have these shirts and hoodies. There will be a link in the description where you can buy them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.